stuff has been acting weird. Hello? Mic check. Mike's been on this whole time, hasn't it? I've been having crazy. This is the reason why I started a little bit late. I don't even know if the camera's working. I set it up, it shut off. I turned it back on, I set it back up, it shut off. So I'm gonna switch the scene and hopefully it's there. I set the stream deck to be how it usually is, but it's not. I don't know what's happening, but things are just acting real funky. My speakers are really loud for no reason. Switch this. Are we good? Goodness gracious. It's struggling, man. It's struggling. Happy Friday, everybody. This camera, I have a feeling during the reaction is gonna freeze. It happened on Thursday during Yakuza Guide to babysitting. So if you were in that stream, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's gonna do that. I keep talking about this cam link. I got to do something about it this weekend. Other people have. I don't know if they're having issues with it if they spend money on a cam link, but it's the worst investment I've made since I've started YouTube. It's a waste of $115. It freaking sucks. That was loud. Music is way too loud, right? Whatever. My goodness. Was there a Windows update that happened? I think so. I don't think I ran it though. Well, goodness gracious. Sorry, y'all. Happy Friday. We're here. We're back with summertime rendering. Episode 22. Let's make that full screen. Man, last week was a good episode. Work has been crazy, so I really haven't had time to really think about things much at all. So it's I really had to look at the board to figure out what was last week. Ushio's back. Yes, I'm glad I wrote Ushio is back in capital letters. But Ushio's back. It was a really good episode. Our boy Gil, he was best boy last week. Hopefully he's still here. We had a lot of positivity going his way that we were above water. His shadow didn't get destroyed. So hopefully our boy Gil is still there. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Let me pause everything up and then I'll double check with you guys to make sure that you don't hear anything, because these settings are absolutely messing up. All right. I'm gonna play this. Can you guys hear that? For me, it's not moving. I forgot what this is called. Okay, cool. Well, it's just the opening to start off, so starting the episode. How's everyone's day? I'll ask that. How's everyone's day so far? Had a hell of a day. Long and tiring. Same. Absolute same for me. Pretty good. How's your my day's freaking long, man. Freaking long. This whole week. The last 2 weeks have been really long, but this week in particular has been extremely long and I'm really tired. No, you did? Oh, that sucks. Was it? How bad was it? Was it minor or major? Lepec minor or Pec major? Oh, sir, we all messed up, man. We're all jacked up. Give myself some volume. That's good. That's good. That's good. Gil is fine. Gil is fine. Okay. She's upgraded now. Look at Gil acting as a float. She's an irregular. She's like bomb. Hey. What was that? What was that? What's that from? What was that from? You guys help me out. What was that from? There she is. There she is. She's up there. No, they are not. I'll find out. What do you mean? Nah, let me bet. I wonder if the hair tie, the thing that's on his arm, is exactly what the seashell was. So if she does die again and we have a chance to loop, we can do this whole thing again. Wait! Wait, was it Mio? Damn it. I was going big brain. I was going big brain. I was going to be like, was it the seashell? But no, it was Mio. You guys saw that flash? I'm asking the same question. Why would you say that out loud? They don't know Ryunosuke. They don't know that Ryunosuke's in him. Why are we dying? What was the play? Oh gosh, oh my goodness. Ushio's about to appear right now, right? So where's Ushio at? Did they know that he could hide the mark inside of them? They had a shocked expression, which made me feel like they didn't know that. Oh, so this is a flashback. Thank you. I can shut up now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 That makes sense. That makes sense. We came back when they were inside of Gil. Their plan was they thought that Shinpei was going to get two Ushios. That's not a bad. That's the way I feel like I would think. I'd be thinking like, yeah, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna do this so they can have two Ushios running around and going crazy on us. They were thinking big brain like how we think big brain. Wow! 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 That's actually a great plan. That's actually a great plan. That's actually a great plan. Like, seriously. I'm not gonna let him live that down. That's a really great plan. A shadow with its teeth on the outside. Oh, don't let the third one. Don't let the third one. Don't let the third one. Ooh. No. Dude, I can't get over that. That's such a good plan. We hide in the cave, so when I loop and bring her back, we're here already. Someone says it. Let's move. It's tough, but let's move. Yeah, Shinpei has a big brain. He just fails in execution sometimes. Like his succession rate is terrible. I feel like anything under 60% is terrible. Now we could actually go through and count each situation. Ew. And figure out his actual percentage, but okay, Tokiko. All right. Interesting. You gotta, yeah, we can't waste time. So what can we do? His brain is in full effect. What? What? All right, Shinpei. That's cool. I wish I could do stuff like this. Like, ever since, what movie was that? Damn. I used to remember the name of it. You guys help me out. It's not Twilight. I think it was vampires. There were some sort of monsters that live forever. Teenagers, like family, mid 2000s movie. I thought it was good, but I haven't seen it since back then. The movie starts off, it's like there's like some party, they're up there doing something, and then they like jump off a cliff and then just land normal and walk into the party. Please, someone know what the name of the movie is. Thought it was pretty good. Like ever since that movie, I feel I've always wanted yes, yes, I like that movie. Ever since then, well, ever since Underworld when she jumped off the tower, and she just lands normal and walks. I've always wanted to do that. Nice shot, Nazu. Ah! Bang! Keep shooting. Just keep shooting. I don't know. That was Sebastian. You're blowing my mind. That was a young Sebastian Stan. Shoot him again. Woo! Let's go, Nazu! Yes, sir. I can't. That was a young Sebastian. You're blowing my mind. Okay, so my assumption is that it's not gonna be this easy, right? Was his head about to blow up? Because of the eye? Ryunosuke. What's up with Mio just sitting in the water like this? It's not going to be this easy where we could just walk up and do it, right? It can't be that easy. Surely something's going to happen. Why not let Ryunosuke... well, I was going to say, why not let Ryunosuke, like, take over for a bit? Would the pain still be there? See, are we operating on anime time where everything is slowed down? It's not actually been 2 or 3 minutes since we've just been standing in front of the evil entity that's been plaguing our island. Or come on, we can have these long dialogue. Well, we might not be able to have them, so I guess we need to have them, but we can have these dialogues later. Come on, please. See? Let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh, there she is. He's using, yeah. Okay, damn it. Thorn in your side. Izuru feels like All Might. I'm sorry. I gotta make connections to things I love. Just thinking about just the relationship of the bad guy with someone. Yeah, don't get... I want his head to go. Dang it. Like, that's the most emotion she's ever put out. Ooh, he landed his shots though. He landed his shots though. He landed his shots though. He was in. Yeah. Oh, was it enough? Come on again. Do it again. Do it again. Come on. Again. 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 Please. Ooh. Yo. That's not scary at all. Do you think they did that on purpose to mimic a little bit of like Cthulhu, maybe? Deep sea monsters, stuff like that? I'm mad tense. I don't like know what's about to happen. She hesitated. She hesitated. She hesitated. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. I was gonna be like, she hesitated. No. Maybe she was gonna hit Heine, but then decided not to hit Heine and just slam the shadow behind. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And she landed the. Ah! Ah! She did? Dog. Screw this ending. Hold on. We need to run this back. We need to run this back. Because I thought I was following. Right? I thought I was following, but what happened? Now that Heine is dead / incapacitated, Shide's chains have been broken. Ugh. So he's been handcuffed this whole time. Maybe? He's been handcuffed this whole time? And now that she's out of the way, he can step into the place? I'm trying to follow the logistics. Heine was there. She flew past, hit the wall. Bang. So they're not in the same space. He got banged in the head. But then Mia looked like she was about to disappear. But then 2 seconds later, she's just like, nah, chill out. Nothing's happening. Like, it looked like she was disappearing, but maybe she didn't, because then Shide stepped in as big boy. Their right eyes are the same. I think it's not affecting her because she's a shadow and Shinpei's a human. So there's stuff happening. Like he's experiencing all of this feedback because he's a human. But since she's a shadow, she doesn't, like, that feedback isn't affecting her, just like they were explaining with her voice. Like, because Shinpei's a human, the voice is affecting him. Mio and all the other shadows can just tone it out. I don't feel like hearing the ending. I gotta talk my way through this. I'm a little confused. I gotta talk my way through this. Hold on. So the red eye is definitely a thing that already happened. It happened 3 or 4 episodes ago. I don't remember how many episodes ago, but it happened at the minimum 4 episodes ago. Definitely happened all the way back then. The red eye, we can assume, is with Ushio, and Ushio Ushio made a copy of it when she gave it to Shinpei. The episode where Ushio died? Nah, it was even before that, wasn't it? Because we got that red eye thing when it was when it was the episode that started when Hizuru was in the shower. And matter of fact, was that the episode that Ushio died? That could have been the episode that Ushio died. I was thinking it's the episode where it started where Hizuru was in the shower and where her and Ushio was talking to each other, and she explained like how she came to be because of the right eye popping out of Heine's head all that time ago with the Ryunosuke situation. So it was back then. So the right eye is with Ushio, and we seen from episode 1 that Ushio gave Shinpei the eye. And we seen from episode 5 when Shide tried to pluck I want to say that was episode 5. When Shide tried to pluck the eye from Shinpei, he was like, this isn't the real eye. Shinpei's bloody eye then turned back into his real eye. He doesn't have the real eye in here. He's been gifted or imbued the power of this eye with shadow shenanigans, however the hell that's working. So what this whole resonance is, why we're having a reaction with Shinpei 100% is because he's a human, and it's not happening with Ushio because she's a shadow. It's not affecting him. Shide never plucked the eye out, if I recall correctly. Shide did pluck the eye out. I vividly remember Shinpei not having an eye, blood running down, and Shide saying, this isn't the real eye. Because if it was the real eye, he was just gonna just snatch it. Because I remember he plucked the eye out because we were making Madara jokes. Like, oh, he's just gonna pluck the eye out of Shinpei's head, like Madara did to Kakashi. Like, I remember we made those jokes back and forth. But I'm pretty sure he pulled the eye out. Maybe it was Hine. Someone plucked the eye. Forgive me for speaking in the wrong part, but someone plucked the eye out of his head. So we can put that there, why that was happening, why the whole pain thing is happening. Now we know that whatever's happening with Shide and Heine is separate from, I guess separate. I guess so. I guess it's separate from what with Ushio, because the eye separated from them 14 years ago and seemingly has not been with them. So we don't know if it's working together or are they working against it. I don't freaking know. It's crazy. I'm thinking that if Mio says that Ushio held back and didn't fully kill Heine, then I'll roll with Ushio held back because she hesitated because of the flashback that we got. And because there was enough damage dealt to make Hiruko, right? Make Heine Hiruko weaken so that Shide could take over. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking happened. I'm thinking that there wasn't enough force dealt so that all this shadow stuff could just die. There was just enough left so that Hiruko was out of power or almost dead. And he was able to then step over her and seizing power, seizing control, however that works. Because that's where I'm like, how do those two fit? Like, she almost died and now you get the chance to be powerful. Like, I thought all this shadow stuff was stemming from her. So if she almost dies and there really isn't that much left, how can you then gain that power and take control? Is it what's the deal with that? Like, what is happening? That's where I'm like, I don't know. I need more information. And so far, this show does a really good job at giving you the information that you need in order to make everything make sense. So I'm hoping next week that we get the information needed to make whatever happened in this episode make sense. He looks skinnier. I think it's because he doesn't have the what's his face. All the mud, the nothingness that happened, all that stuff was destroyed, and with like that little recap. So what I'm thinking is that it was just Shide that was just kneeling there after getting domed in his headpiece. That's what I'm thinking. We know the eye has its own personality. We heard the eye talk. We know that. And the eye thinks of itself differently or from a different point of view than Heine or Shide. Maybe. That's just a guess. But from the little sentence or two that it said back when we first got that moment, whenever I think Shinpei that said back, like, someone said back to her, like, what'd you just say? Like, like, why'd you say that? And she's like, huh? What'd I say? And then we just moved on from it. But, I don't know. I don't know. Like, what's the play? If we kill Heine, would she loop like Shinpei? As it stands, from however it's been set up, Shinpei is the one that is looping. Heine doesn't have the power to loop on her own. Otherwise, she would have just been looping on her own. It feels like whatever, like the power to loop, when that eye popped out of Heine lost that power. Doesn't, like, she knows the experience and all that stuff, but she lost that ability to freely loop. That's Shinpei. But since it's the same power base, both of them are able to experience stuff on that timeline that surpasses all the different other timelines. They're able to think that way because the power comes from the same individual. It's just like someone can help me with a comparison, but it's like he's the one driving and she's tagging along because they're one and the same, but she just doesn't have the ability to do it on her own. So that's why we need to kill Shinpei, because if we kill Shinpei, in theory, we get the eye back. We now are the only people that view the timeline. Therefore, we are in control now. That's kind of like what this is. So that's what I'm thinking. I think the eye is Heine. Hiruko expelled Heine, and Heine became Ushio. So now Hiruko doesn't have Heine's personality, the only child. But so are we saying this moment when Ushio, thank you for subbing, Naruto. So you're saying this moment when Ushio is rushing her and seemingly about to cave her face in, this was just Hiruko trying to do a last ditch. Maybe I can get her. Maybe I could do something. Because to me, like, is that what that is? I guess so. I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, Heine's personality always slips out when, the red eye. I don't know what the red eye is. We were assuming. Yeah, I think it's Majin Buu rules. Heine ain't dead because Oliver hasn't gone right. You mean after you? Hold on. That is Heine. Expelled Heine. Ushio. After she punches. So you're saying after Ushio punches, Ushio's right eye then becomes Heine? Is that what you're saying? I can't remember what we decided on in our Discord conversations a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this. Like who is who? Is the eye Heine? Because I think what everyone else is leaning on, and I was like, I don't know, but I was kind of convinced on it was that maybe thank you, Marcus. Yeah, thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. Yeah, you said this last. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like we had to do. We definitely did. What was I saying? We were thinking this was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Like, is Hiruko Heine, this little girl that we see, is that Hiruko still using the appearance as Heine? Or when the eye popped out, was that Hiruko that popped out and a perverted version of Heine that's been around for all this time is what's doing this whole I want to go home thing? And Hiruko is the thing that is with Ushio, like what Ushio becomes. Because, and I kind of was thinking that because of the comment that the eye made back in that scene where they were like, where Ushio was like, what did I just say? Back in that scene, the eye was like, that I was thinking it was more so of Hiruko more than Heine, because the eye was like, idiot, like something along the lines of dumb or stupid or idiot. She knows she can't heal that way, right? She knows that she can't heal that way. And then as we get explained how the shadows work, shadows only update from making copies of the real body. If you absorb the real body and sustain physical damage, there is no way for you to repair yourself, no matter how many people you eat, no matter how much power you gain, seemingly. So I'm thinking to myself, why would Heine know information like that? Hiruko would know information like that, and Heine would be the individual that would think, if I eat enough, thinking about the situation, knowing that there was a famine, if I eat enough, I'll be fine, I'll be whole again. That's where we were kind of leaning on Heine that we see running around doing all the shadow stuff is a perverted version of the Heine from 200 or 300, however long ago that was. And actually, Hiruko was the thing that got ejected and ended up becoming the eye. That was the logic we were using back then. And now I feel like there is no logic for us to really stand on because of what's happening now. I got lost halfway. So I can shorten this up nice and sweet. I got distracted. So we know that Heine, Hiruko, the goddess of the fishermen, the shadow monster, was Hiruko, absorbed, like ate Heine, took Heine's form. We know that. So at one point in time, Hiruko and Heine were both one thing. The Ryunosuke situation 14 years ago, a part of this Hiruko Heine being got ejected. In one of these episodes, can't remember which episode it was, whenever Ushio makes the comment about like yada 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 whatever. Whenever Ushio makes that comment like, oh, what did I just say? Whenever the eye says something, the eye says something along the lines of Heine or Hiruko, however it said, probably gonna go back and fish for the scene, can't heal that way. Like Ushio's eye says this. Can't heal that way. That's not how we heal. No matter how many people we eat, that's not how it works. So me thinking, granted, they've been together for hundreds of years. How would Heine, the little girl, know that information if Ushio's eye was Heine? I'm sitting here thinking that maybe the eye, instead of Hiruko ejecting Heine, was Heine ejecting Hiruko and keeping the body. And Hiruko ran away as the little eye during that Ryunosuke scene as he's dying. And Hiruko would know that, yeah. And I'm saying Hiruko would know, and then we come to know that going through the whole situation with Ushio, like when Ushio got hurt and she was constantly bleeding and she fixed herself and then it hurt again. You have to absorb, you have to take those data captures in order to heal yourself from the original body. But you can't stay alive unless you copy the body. So because there is no Hiruko Heine body to copy, Heine will never be whole again. So it's kind of like that. And it's like, I feel like Hiruko would know that information. Heine wouldn't. Heine would go on and on about, I need to eat to get better, because Heine went through a famine the last time Heine was a human. Feel better, you don't die, by eating. I was going along in that logic. So the villain that we've been fighting this whole series was a perverted version of Heine, and the right eye that becomes Ushio is actually Hiruko, the goddess of the fishermen. But now, how I was thinking that, I have no idea if that's valid anymore. Like, I have no idea whatsoever if that idea even works. In my brain and my head canon, it kind of does, but not really. Because it's just, so many conversations happen off screen, so many things happen. It's hard to really say anything anymore. Shadow Ushio knows how to heal from the get-go, right? Maybe it's just Shadow Instinct that they know how to heal, like Mio. Just know real Mio die. Maybe, but Shadow Ushio didn't know that from the start. I don't think she did. Because if that were the case, Shadow Ushio would have made a mention like, I need to copy myself so that I can fix myself. Because when she got hurt, it was a shock to all of us that, oh, she got hurt. And she was like, oh, I'm fine. But then throughout the next episode or two, she's like wincing and stuff, and then the arm splits open again. But it isn't until we get like a copy of, like, we get to do, I think she either copied Ushio's dead body or something happened that she was able to fix herself. And it wasn't like in the gym battle, her hair got all messed up and Mio collected Ushio's hair from the shower drain. And because that was a part of the real Ushio, she copied it. Boom, her hair came back. So it's like you can't heal yourself unless you're able to make that flash data copy. Like, so that's why I was thinking that. And Shadow Ushio didn't know that originally, I don't think. Initially, I don't think. That's where a rewatch will happen. That was like, at this point, like 10 to 12 episodes ago, maybe something crazy like that. Why is Heine so sick? We don't know. We don't know why, like, Heine is like, or do we? There was some, see, there's too much information. We don't know, but we don't know why she was acting so weird either. We don't know why the Ryunosuke incident or the incident with like tasting Hizuru's blood, why that awakened something. We don't, like, we have, like, that stuff we still don't know why that was going on the way it was going on, because we've learned more about like what they've been doing as far as Shide and Heine, and it feels like Heine has always been in control, because she would had to have been in control to give birth to Shide. What? How old is Shide? In his late 20s? So she would have had to have been in some... He's either in his 20s or 30s. I don't remember. But she would have to have been at least aware of the fact that... of what to do. Maybe this is when he came up with the idea. Maybe she was in control this whole time. Like, maybe she was in control this whole time. Maybe it wasn't until like this Izuru moment or the Ryunosuke incident where Shide came up with this plan, like, thanks for something, where Heine showed this massive weakness when coming into contact with Hizuru, where he's just like, nah, I can't let this happen again. What if that was the case? What if she was so in control and... See, I don't know, but at that time she was already like sick and stuff. So it's like, I have no idea. And when I'm thinking, like, the more I'm sitting here talking about it and the more I'm thinking about it, could Heine / Hiruko, could she have been dying just due to the fact of she's just dying? Like, does that make sense? Like, maybe nothing happened. Maybe she's just dying. And that's why there's so much emphasis on... Maybe that's why there's so much emphasis on going home, using information that we learned from what... Who said it? Did Mio say it? Did Ushio said it? Of, she wants to go home, but she's not. She's not a god. She's some sort of shadow monster that's just lived a long time. Like, there's nothing like She's not a deity. Like, it's different. Like, well, we don't know that. It's a hypothesis from Shinpei is that maybe she's just something that's just been alive a long time, isn't some sort of deity. Like, there's nothing holy about Heine or whatever, however you would classify that. But maybe she's just some organism that has this extraordinary power. And maybe it's a thing of maybe she is dying. And I want to go home because home is where we can live forever without dying. And if we go home, we don't have to worry about dying anymore. I'm thinking it could have been it could be more like that. And it lends more credence to Shide trying to gain this power, and Shinpei then saying at the end of the episode, "You're immortal, aren't you?" Because Heine isn't immortal. Heine just can live a long time. Like, if Ushio would have just Falcon punched hard enough, she's gone. Right? It's like if she Falcon punches hard enough, Heine is gone. Like, there's no immortality there. Like, that life ends. That essence dies. And now maybe Shide has been trying to find a... Matter of fact, that makes perfect sense, because his whole deal is the fact that he's been making exact copies of himself, trying to keep himself alive, and like, basically, I don't know what word I was trying to use. Basically trying to become immortal, trying to seek immortality. So now that maybe he's able to switch take control of the power, or switch ownership of the power, that he's found a way to achieve that immortality. I'm thinking it could be something along the lines of that. I'm thinking it might be more so along the lines of like Zamasu, where it's like you thought you've achieved immortality, but because you've done this, you've gone actually a little bit too far, and now you actually aren't. You're just a little bit. I have a weird feeling this ending is gonna be mid. I don't think so. I don't know. I say I don't know to like the whole it being an expression, because his entire character, from what we know of, is trying to be immortal. Like, his whole that's what his whole character is about. He's literally making exact replicas of himself and transferring his consciousness to the next copy. That's literally what he's been doing for the last however hundreds of years. So it's like, clearly he's been staying alive for a reason. And that reason is to betray Heine. Maybe he's trying... You guys saw that flash? Let me know. He's trying to figure something out. So, matter of fact, he's trying to figure out a way to be immortal without relying on her. Because all of this has been solely relied on her. Like, he has to... They have to do the do, right? They have to do the do, and then she has to give birth to a copy of himself, and then he has to copy himself into the baby version, and then go through that all over again. It's all dependent on her. So if we get her out of the picture, and he stayed alive long enough to figure out a way to become immortal on his own, I feel like that makes more I feel like that ties directly into his character. I do, and I feel like, and because this episode is just like Shinpei, big balls on the table, massive brain. He's got big brain all over this. He figured it out way before all of us could. So that's what I'm just thinking, like, yeah, I feel like Shinpei actually might have figured it out. Like, damn it, he's done it, and his brain's big enough. He did enough in this episode to cement his big brain status. There's so many conversations that happens off screen. I feel like that might be my one gripe across the entire series. Like, ejecting myself from inside of the series and speaking from the point of view of someone consuming media. I hate all the conversations that happen off screen because it leads to these moments, and as the viewer, I'm like super duper confused, but everyone else has been filled in on exactly what is happening. It's like, I wouldn't mind a few off-screen conversations, and granted, I know that we're not seeing every single moment of these characters' lives, so there's just downtime where stuff just happens. We go from scene to scene. They had to get from scene to scene, so definitely something happened in this point. But it's just like, it feels like in every single scene to scene transition, possibly a series breaking conversation or revelation happens. We had like a full episode of so many, like the episode where Ushio dies is just nothing but, you guys talked about all of this and this still happened. Like, you guys talked this through to it was dead in the water and figured it out, and you still let this happen. It's like it kind of like sours that. Like, this moment, it's just like this moment, I'm like, okay, Shinpei, big brain, yeah. But it's just like, he big brained all this off screen. I wish I could have seen some of the thought process happen. More so for me, speaking explicitly for myself. I don't want to speak for anyone else. But I hold what happened to Ushio directly, like, and like responsible to Shinpei, because you had outs, or you could have just succeeded or not succeeded or pushed through on this or did that, and something you did in this interaction caused for this to happen. So it's like, you did something and then you big brained your way out of it and made something out of nothing. But because this mess up was so big, it's like, one, we didn't see all the conversations that led up to this big mess up. And I feel like you write it that way, because if we have all of these conversations on screen and then Shinpei messes up, you're even more pissed off in that moment. Because it's like, we all listened to what just happened. Why didn't you do it? It triggers you when you hear it as it's happening. It's just like, you talked about it, and then you could just spiral out of control like I did. But because I feel like he messed up so bad, I would have loved to see Shinpei's big brain at work. Get to see some of these conversations and the plans that we're coming up with. Now, it would take away from the moment of, oh, we got Ushio back and now I'm going to kill myself. It definitely takes away from that moment, because in that moment you're like, wait, what are you doing? And then they get the reveal to you. But I would rather that moment just not happen. And I would rather, or maybe you still could have that moment, but just give us some of the big brain. Not all of it. Don't reveal the whole plan to us, but give us some of it. So that when things start going down, I can be like, okay, Shinpei actually did think about this. And during this whole episode, I'm like, Shinpei still messed up from a while ago. I'm still holding that against him. Maybe that's my fault, but I'm still holding that against him. And then it's just like, oh no, he's big brain. He thought this all the way through. He's thinking loops in advance. Like they were thinking loops in advance. And it's just like, well, oh, okay, I guess I need to just let it go that he messed up. Then it's now I feel like, damn, like I wish I could have had a different feeling instead of wasting all that time during the episode thinking about him messing up and worried about how he's gonna screw up this time. So yeah, that might be my one gripe about the series. It's just the off-screen conversations. I don't mind them. I don't mind 1 or 2. But there's been like these 1 or 2 have been like super like, damn, those are game changer conversations, and you fumble. So yeah, that's my one gripe. So that's a really good series. But yeah, I don't know where the hell this thing is going. This silhouette of him is really cool, by the way. I think I'm gonna call it. Link is in the description to the Discord. What's up, Tintin? I didn't say hi. We're gonna hop over there. We're gonna rewatch the episode, take some notes down, put our questions down, and get up out of here. It shouldn't be too much to talk about. I babbled enough right now. But yeah, link in the description. Head over to the Discord. We'll hop over there. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Am I sweating? Yes, I am. Thank you guys. Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys. Have a good one if I don't see you over in the Discord. We should be here tomorrow morning for Awashi. Look out for that. There should be a movie night tomorrow. Look out for that maybe. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Friday or Saturday, wherever you are. Have a good rest of your weekend coming up. And have a good rest of a good next week. And hopefully, God willing, see you guys back here next Friday for episode 23 of Summertime Rendering. Everyone in the chat that's still here, I can't see how many people are here, but everyone, feel better, recover good, rest, get some sleep, eat good, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one again, and I'll see you. Peace out.